I think I've grown my hymen back. So, updates. We've actually stopped doing these updates, you know. I don't know why. I think because we're just like stagnating sexually because of COVID. We used to do them on the podcast. Like, we've just done a 2-year sex update, like what happened to us in the last 2 years sexually for both of us. So if you want to listen to that, you're more than welcome. It's probably not going to be much different from this video for me.
I mean, updates recently. This is like the beginning of 2021, and everyone like started this year. Well, actually, I felt quite hopeful at the beginning of this year, and things just got like really intense and existential.
Oh, existential.
Crises.
Such a good word.
Because I'm turning 30 this year. I've just been really overthinking what my like life's purpose and feeling like very lost. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, curious fuckers. We are both really struggling this year.
Yeah, and last year, this year in particular. And so this might be forewarning that we might not be able to do 2 videos a day, because it's gonna fluctuate, like as any emotions that we're going through. Don't know how we do it. Some days like Florence is really down and I'm feeling really good, and then other days I'm feeling really down, she's doing really good. We're never feeling down together or up together. It's always like we have like a rocking balance.
And like, I guess today we've met, like we're very much in the middle today, because neither of us is like sad, neither of us is happy, but we're both just really exhausted and tired.
Exhausted, like in pain, physically exhausted, and just fucking over it. Just over it.
I'm over everything. I've probably got a vagina problem.
Yeah, right now.
I think chronic BV, and like something's up.
Something is not popping. So, doctor's appointment.
Going to the doctors next week. Fun times.
I think I've grown my hymen back because it's been... That's not possible. You cannot grow a hymen back. That I know of. Maybe there's a medical condition, but I think it's like hell rare.
Oh yeah, Reed, you've become an incel.
I've literally become an incel. We were joking about this earlier, and I have to tell you what an incel is, because the definition of it actually spooked me. An incel
It's really
means involuntary celibate. But an incel is like means something completely different these days.
So Reed is involuntarily celibate.
Yeah.
But
because of COVID, not because of like other reasons. So we're going to tell you what an incel means in this cheery little video. Lucky you. And also tell you about like what sex we've been having. Because even though I haven't had sex with anyone physically, I have done a lot of virtual sex and a lot of sexting and navigating dating apps and hitting people up on Instagram. Yeah, that's been really interesting and quite fun and very surprising.
Tell me more.
This is my predator self, hitting up a lot of models, a lot of male models, and literally sliding into their DMs and being like, hey, I'm sliding into your DMs. I am being a predator here, but I don't know how else to message you. Like, just saying it upright. I am a predator. Although, recently, I mean, it's been really interesting because obviously people are on Instagram, aren't actively searching for people, you know, it might be a bit of a shock. Most of the people I've chatted to aren't on dating apps. They're not looking for anyone. They're not looking for sex. Or some of them just don't know how to act. Like, this one dude I was chatting to, he ended up sending me like a raunchy video out of nowhere. Didn't ask for it. And I was like, thanks, I think. I was a bit like, where's the consent? I haven't been asked if you want to send me a sexy video. And he was like, oh, but you messaged me. And I was like, I don't know what you want from me. And I was like, what the fuck? He was like fully projecting his anger instead of being like, oh, I'm sorry, I crossed a boundary. It was really bizarre. And he was like, goodbye then. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
What the hell?
I mean, there's not really much else to report. Yeah, just I have been sliding into people's DMs, but making it very apparent and being like, I am sliding into your big DMs because I want to chat you up. Not be like, hey, I'm trying to act really cool, and be like, hey, I just want to be like, hey, I think you're really fit and I want to talk to you.
That would be so much better. There's been this guy that's like been liking all my pictures and like watching all my stories, and like we've had like a few sort of messages here and there. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, are you trying to be my friend? Are you trying to just hit me up?
Yeah, because when someone adds you and likes about 10 of your photos, that's when you know that they're trying to get your attention, and he did that.
For sure.
But like, what does he want?
What does he want? The last thing I would do would just be like a bunch of photos. It's almost like, oh my god, I like you, but I don't actually like you. You know, it's like, just, I think people are lacking confidence to be like, hey, I fancy you. But then at least you get an answer. If you say, I fancy you, I wish this wasn't COVID so I could take you out for a drink, and you don't get the response you want, you have your fucking answer, rather than putting all your eggs in one basket and investing all this time trying to get someone to like notice you.
Or just, what I like is when people follow you, like a bunch of your photos, and message you.
Yeah.
That's the key, because I will notice you and then I will look at your message and be like, am I interested or am I not interested?
I don't even think it's a good idea to follow, because if you hit on something, like, I think following comes later, because like most of the time these things aren't going to necessarily work itself out. So following someone is kind of like awkward, because then you have to unfollow them if it doesn't work out. Just message them, man. But then again, it's easy for me to say I am a woman. Things are different for someone who's a white woman trying to hit on people compared to like someone who's a man.
You're privileged.
Yeah,
in this
massively
position.
Privileged. Yeah, I could basically do anything and get away with it, which is not fair. You know, I could like hit up a bunch of people with a bunch of nudes, which is really not okay, and still get away with it. I think a lot of people think I'm crazy though. You're right.
Yo, who is she?
Yeah, why are you sending me?
Who does she think she is?
Why are you sending me like a close-up picture of your hairy muff? Like, what the hell? I did not consent to this. No! If I want to swap nudes, I ask like, oh hey, do you fancy swapping some nudes? But I never say, can I send you a nude? I'm like, I want to see your nudes too. Would you be up for swapping some nudes? It's cool if you don't want to.
Yeah, I like, at the moment I'm so into sending nudes.
Yes.
I like getting the appreciation. I need it.
Yeah. Appreciate me. Yeah. I'm like full-blown attention seeking right now, because I want,
right?
So I want to be desired. I'm like, desire me.
Yes, that's exactly it. Plus, like, that's what you get from sending nudes. Plus, I feel good about my body, so I want other people to be like, yeah, you fat.
Yeah.
So I'm basically fucking one of my best mates, which is cool. It's really great sex, great times, because we're good friends.
What are you talking about? This is jokes. It's like show and tell.
We just started watching Sopranos from the beginning. It's gotten very, very cozy. We've gotten to the point where there's like room for experimenting in sex, which can be like really interesting and I'm really excited for. We're just like, okay, let's sort of lay the foundation for kind of like role play, like by like learning to be more comfortable with like chatting to each other during sex. But other than that, like, I'm in an open situation. I can date other people if I want to, but I'm not really that keen on like dating apps at the moment, or like virtual dates. I just can't be bothered.
It's a lot of admin. Like, it's a lot of work. I'm spending a lot of time on dating apps and it kind of going nowhere, which is also down to me, but that's because we're in a situation where, you know, it can't
this
really
is
go
the
anywhere.
thing, it's just, yeah, exactly. So like, I just feel so like meh. Like, I've got what I need. I've got the intimacy that I need. I've got the cuddles, and I don't need anything else. I'm not seeing anyone else because of COVID. So like, I've got my bubble, and that's it.
Bubble. Got a bubble.
My bubble.
What's the sex like?
I mean, the sex is consistently very, very good. I don't really know what else to say. Like, it's quite like vanilla. Like, we don't really sort of, once we get into it, it's hard to be like, okay, let's change this up. Let's do something a little bit different, because it feels so good. Because like, I found that person whose like penis fits my vagina perfectly.
Key in the lock.
Yeah, the sex is great, and it did get like a little bit intense at the beginning of this year because of what was going on with me and myself mentally. So I've taken like a little break from like communicating this week, and it's been really beneficial. If you ever feel like overwhelmed and that you're getting too involved in relationship stuff, take a step back, and every time you think about them, be like, hey, no, let's think about me. Let's think about what I want. That's what I've been doing this week, and it's been so nice.
You've also been speaking to a therapist as well, a sex therapist. Is he a sex therapist?
Yeah, he's a sex and relationship therapist. I feel like I talk to him about most things that I talk with a normal therapist about, but I always feel like slightly judged talking to a normal therapist when I'm talking about sex stuff.
Yeah.
So it's nice talking to someone that I'm like, I know like gets the whole like open relationship vibes, and like things that are like basically just being more open, and someone that's like super supportive of what we do as well. well is like really cool.
What you were saying about being judged by a therapist, I've definitely felt that before with therapists, but not just about sex, but about like the sex work that I do, about the drugs that I take, the partying that I do, about my lifestyle in general. And if you feel judged in any way by your therapist or by your doctor, find another therapist or doctor, because they should not be like that. That's unprofessional, and they are moving from like a professional unbiased opinion to like having their own thoughts and feelings and opinions seeping in there, which is not right. You need to find somebody else, tell them, and then find somebody else.
So how has your virtual sex been going?
Interesting. I mean, I haven't done a lot of like virtual sex since like last year, but like when lockdown had eased up a little bit, and I was having great virtual sex with the guy from Amsterdam. He's great, by the way. But yeah, we still talk. He's still lovely. We still like hype each other up, which is really nice.
Aww.
I've done a lot of sexting and a lot of nude swapping, but not really any sort of video camera live sex as of yet. I haven't done that since last year. I've really enjoyed the sexting over Christmas. Oh my god, the shit that I was thinking about. I like fully got into like the taboo incest hole of like Christmas time, like, oh, big brother, no, like, oh, it was so fucking good. And like I had someone that was like playing around with me with that, even though they were like, oh yeah, I've never really done this before, I don't know how I feel about it, and we just talked it out. We talked about it. I think I'm just coasting and trying to find somebody who mentally and physically turns me on, but mainly mentally, because everyone physically turns me on. I'm really not that picky in a physical sense. I'm just like, yeah man, like let's just fucking go for it. But mentally I haven't got there yet. No one has been sort of like switched me on and made me be like, oh my god, I really want more of this, like you're giving me what I want. So kind of just talking to a lot of fucking people at the moment, and if it doesn't really work, then yeah, just moving on and chatting to more people. I've got a virtual date this evening. Oh yeah, dating's been really cute. And a guy that I shagged last year, we did like a little film watching date thing together at the beginning of this week.
I love that.
It was really cute. But then it was really hard because it got us both really horny, and then we couldn't really do anything about it.
That's actually the most frustrating thing about video dates, is when you are really horny with that person and all you want in the whole wide world is to be there with them.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky in that it was quite a good dynamic, and he is so chill. Like we've got a good chill dynamic where it's very casual. We both want different things in the end, but we're happy just like chatting and being mates, and like potentially meeting up and going for picnics, but like just being mates. It's so good.
So what was that about being an incel, Reed?
We're laughing about it, but it's actually, I've not been doing very well, like mental health wise, definitely like depression creeping back in, because just feeling so alone. Like it doesn't matter how many connections you have online with somebody, they still feel really empty. I don't have somebody to talk to, and going from like a 7-year relationship with Thomas to suddenly nothing and not having any distraction has really affected me. So joking about being an incel, like I am involuntary celibate. Like I am wanting to go and fuck, and I can't. We can't throw around the word incel too much because it does mean a different thing. I was looking this up on Wikipedia. If you want to know, incels are members of an online subculture who define themselves as unable to find romantic or sexual as unable to find romantic or sexual partners despite desiring one. This is really hard to read. Jesus Christ.
I promise, like, and even it's.
There's a lot on here. They're characterized by resentment, misogyny, misanthropy, self-pity, self-loathing, racism, and a sense of entitlement to sex. It's not a good thing, is an incel. They endorse violence against sexually active people. If anyone's read our comments, holy fucking shit. Anyone who's negative to us is basically this. There's a lot here. So yeah, this is just on Wikipedia, guys. If you've heard of the red pill or the black pill, there's a lot on here that's quite terrifying. I actually have a friend who openly admits that he was down this hole when he was younger because he really wanted to sort of like be his own and like stand for his own beliefs, and ended up going down these rabbit holes of information and basically thinking the same as incels. And he got out of it, and now he's like, oh my god, I cannot believe, I was like a Trump supporter, I hated women, it's just really fucked.
Wow.
There's a lot there. So yeah, in that way, I am not an incel. But it's good to talk about these things.
No, you're not.
Because I know...
you're just
I know people who would probably be incels or going that
how's
way.
going away from like the incel territory?
Yeah.
Like, how is just not having sex, like how is that treating you?
Not very well. Like everyone has a different feeling towards sex, and sex is so part of like my life and who I am and what I want and my desires and where I get my energy from and excitement and like power, if you will, and not being able to have it is soul destroying. Like I don't really have that much anxiety, but depression is definitely what's like pulling the rug out from my feet. Yeah, it's pretty shit. So just trying to figure that out. Like, thankfully, I have an amazing therapist who is so good at helping me see it from a different perspective and helping me find the joy in life without sex. But fuck me, is it hard. I'm still, like, every day, I'm still wanting, desiring, pining after sex. And it's not even just necessarily like a physical touch, like a physical cuddle. It is sex. It is penetrative sex with a man is what I'm craving. I can get all my other needs and wants from elsewhere. I was looking at like loneliness, and loneliness, you can be surrounded by people, because I felt really guilty about feeling lonely because I live with my sister and my best friend, and we chat all the time, we get on really well. But loneliness you can still get, like even if you're in a room full of your best friends, you can still feel lonely because there's a need that you're not getting satisfied with. There is something that is missing, and for me that is the sex part. So yeah, that was really good reading that actually. I was like, oh my god, that makes sense.
There must be so many people like suffering from loneliness right now.
Yeah, and yeah, loneliness can cause depression. Honestly, I looked at the Mind charity website, and that was really helpful. It told me like things that I can do. Yeah, speaking to my therapist, there are things, so like figuring out why I like sex and what is it about sex, what does sex give me, you know, like excitement and spontaneity and enjoyment, happiness, being desired, attention, all this stuff. So she broke that down and then basically looked at the things that I can do on my own or while I'm in lockdown that give me those similar and same feelings. So like going on a bike ride, watching a film with people, doing video call dates because that's like spontaneous, like all that kind of stuff. So I've been really trying hard to like do those things more often and making an effort, and that has really helped. Watching porn and masturbating a lot. But that doesn't give me the same thing. Just gives me
I
something.
masturbate so much, at least twice a day at the moment.
Yeah, but then I've gone through waves of like just basically giving up and not being horny and not masturbating and just being like, what's the fucking point? And then being upset at that because of it. It's like some horrible cyclical circle. And also missing Thomas, like my ex, a lot. And being confused and unsure, like, oh my god, like, do I want to be with him? It's like, I don't want to be with him, but I miss that comfortability and what we had, and that can fuck with your head.
Definitely. I feel like loads of people would just like rather be with their ex right now.
Oh my god, yeah. And of course we don't. We're forgetting the reason why we're not together anymore. We're forgetting the bad times. We only remember like the good, cozy, snuggly moments, and like, I want that now, rather than being like, no, it did not work. It was horrible for a long time and we were unhappy. We are happier now. We have to remember we are happier now.
Well, that was our little update sesh. Hope you enjoyed. What is your update? Please tell us in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you have not already.
Yeah, please let us know. Have you become an incel like me, or is this your time? Are you like prospering? There was a really good thing that both Florence and I saw, a little like picture meme thing on Instagram that was like, stop waiting, because that's what I'm doing, constantly waiting. Stop waiting, because you're ruining this time. You're ruining your life that you have now, waiting for something better to come along. And if you're always waiting, you're forever going to be waiting for the good thing to come. Like, the good time is now, and utilize this time. Easier said than done.
So important though.
Yeah, important.
Just be grateful for what is going on today. Like, I've been fully getting into lazy mode this week, like enjoying the fact that I don't have to get up at a certain time, enjoying like this and that and blah blah blah.
Enjoying festering in bed and watching crap and watching films that have been on my film list for ages, you know.
Yeah, I've just been gaming it up, Assassin's Creed, every single day until like half midnight.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Lord. But yeah, we love you, and check out our merch when that comes along. It's gonna happen. Please listen to our podcast, Fucks Given, and follow us on Instagram at Come Curious, as well as our personals, Reed Amber X and Florence Bark.
And you'll see us very soon.
Yeah, bye. Very soon. Mwah.